Weymouth Sailing Club house is next door to Weymouth Lifeboat Station. The members are glad to know that the lifeboat is there, but they aim never to need it. It's the start of the season. Here is Don Shilcott's boat, Isis, in the frame called a shifter lift. It's a bitterly cold morning in April 1978. All four wheels of the framework are independently steerable, and by a system of ropes and pulleys, the boats can be sent down the ramp and into the water. Whew, that's something that makes the sails dirty. The boat has been launched and it's slowly driven away. The empty shifter lift is pulled back ready for the next launching, and the four steerable wheels enable it to be moved right up to the next boat. Club Commodore Bill White is there in the middle wearing the red anorak. The medium-sized boats, such as Weymouth's Lancer, are launched by a different technique. They're jacked up and put into a framework called a boat stower, which was designed by club member John Gulvey and made locally. The whole affair is towed and manhandled to the quayside, and then the boat is hoisted out by a crane and dropped slowly into the water. You need plenty of willing helpers. Ray Witt's wife and daughter are watching the operation and photographing some of it. Down! These orange-coloured floats will be moored in Weymouth Bay as racing markers. And so the boats are out of the boatyard and moored peacefully in the River Wey, ready to take part in another season of activity. This is how they look at 8 o'clock on an April morning. Early in the season, Weymouth Sailing Club joins with the other yacht clubs of the district in being host to the Weymouth Olympic Week. These are the Tornadoes, international class catamarans, tacking and moving out to their course in Weymouth Bay. Conditions are pretty brisk today. On Weymouth Beach, there's plenty of activity among those who are taking part in the Weymouth Olympic Week. They've come from all parts of Britain and from the continent.
We are now issuing tally. Will you collect your tally for your beach master's tent? Remember to collect your tally before you go afloat.
It's a Sunday afternoon in summer, and these are the Z-class boats. They're proper yachts with cabins, etc. And there's a phantom chasing a squib. Other club members are taking their boats from their moorings and out to sea. The dinghies with the red sails are mirrors, popularized by the Daily Mirror. Mirror number 32935 is Nigel Silman's Good News, and it's followed by Peter Sewell in a Falcon, That's followed by Falcon number 69 Ying being towed out. It's all rather a peaceful scene, isn't it? Now it's a Saturday in midsummer. The club burgee is flying over the hut on the stone pier, and Bill Underhill is preparing to control a series of club races. Mostly squibs and phantoms out there, they tell me. The yellow boat is called Dandelion, which seems fair enough. They'll hoist the flags to tell the competitors to get ready. The diagonal red cross is the class flag for phantoms, and the race starts when the flag comes down. There's also a battery-operated hooter. Lark 1199 is sailed by Mark and Jane Bugler, and Wildfire 58 is sailed by the Giffords. The Falcon 5-minute flag goes up. There are mirrors about with their red wings, but the Falcons are getting ready to start the race. Amid this local activity, a hobbycat from somewhere else sails out, and a millionaire sails in. John Gulvey sails towards us. He designed the boat stower framework, you remember. And so the day goes on. Before each race, there's a good deal of activity at the moorings. The boats with the tan-coloured sails are squibs. In the dinghy park, they're busy with the preparations too. Peter Madden and John Wolfenden are dealing with their Lark dinghies, and Chris Holding is tuning his barnacle bill. And over in the corner is Roy Hughes with his mirror sly boots. All this work goes on to make sure that everything will be in tip-top condition for the next race. Although there's plenty of rivalry, there's a willingness to help one another and plenty of good social life, whatever the weather may be. Peter Madden wheels his lark out of the dinghy park, and over by the fence we have Clive Connor, Charles Parkinson and Stephen Hooper among the Phantoms. It's the last race of the season, the handicap race for the Philipson Cup. It'll be controlled from this boat, Durnium, by Ken Perry and his team. And for the first time in years, it looks like an ideal day for the job. The anchor is dropped in Weymouth Bay and preparations are made for the race. Ken Perry and Keith Hooper will study the list of entrants and their places in the handicap tables. They've decided that Durnium needs to be moved a bit so as to ensure a perfect windward start. The new position is satisfactory, and so the 10-minute flag goes up. And it's followed soon by the 5-minute flag. You'll remember this is a handicap race, which means that there's more than one start. Doug White goes by. The boards are held up to indicate group numbers. Ken looks pensive, but the race is well underway by now. Contrast, sailed by Cliff Neal. These two chaps in the Fireball My Way are making very good time. This looks like Ted Kestin in his Kestrel 902 with Saskia passing in front. There seems to be some problem aboard Durnium, but it'll doubtless soon be sorted out. And here once more is Joe Knight in his Fireball My Way, winning the Philipson Cup for 1978. Now the various runners-up. A record is kept of the positions of the boats in the race, and because this is a handicap competition, there'll be a tendency for bunching towards the end. time for 40 winks before the red rescue boat comes in. Then it's time to take Durnium back to Weymouth at the end of a very enjoyable Philipson Cup race, held in perfect conditions. The end of the season is always rather a sad affair. Fred Summerhay's little panache is in the boat stower. Getting the smaller boats out of the river and into the boat stower needs plenty of willing hands. The boats are hoisted carefully out and lowered into the boat stower and secured in place. Bob Roberts is supervising the handling of George Robinson's boat, Redshank.
Right, I can look on the bow. Got the waves on this side and leave it over. What's from the back? Yeah. I think it's swing round in the back. Can you? Yeah. At the very end of it. You want to take the weight off the stern. Davy's being good.
Redshank is light enough to be manhandled into place if you've got enough people pushing. The larger boats are towed up the concrete ramp in the big shifter lift. By sheer coincidence, this is large panache being brought ashore. We saw little panache a few minutes ago, you remember. Once again, those independently steerable wheels enable the boat to be moved into precisely the right place in the yard. The tractor will be coupled to a towing bar, and everything will move slowly and smoothly into position, moving sideways like a crab in the later stages. At the annual dinner, which marks the end of the season, all these cups and medals and trophies and rose bowls and plates will be awarded to the successful competitors. They will be presented by the Commodore's wife, Barbara White, assisted by Jean Neal. There are too many people to be mentioned individually, and some of them will collect more than one award. But whether trophy winners or not, all the members are eagerly looking forward to the new sailing season and to the next year in the life of the Weymouth Sailing Club.